All right, let's get some further analysis from Vesko Garcevic. He is a former ambassador and currently a professor of international relations over at Boston University. He joins us live now from Belgrade. Ambassador Garcevic, thank you very much for joining us. I just want to say before I begin my questioning that it is a pleasure talking to you. Boston University just so happens to be my alma mater, so it is nice to speak to a Bostonian, even though that you're joining us from Belgrade. All right, let's get into my questioning. Since you served as Montenegro's ambassador to several European countries, let's take a wider geopolitical angle in this conversation. The conflict in Ukraine has undoubtedly created vacuums of power where traditional spheres of influence used to be at play. Let me begin by asking you how it's affected a particularly vulnerable area, and that is of the Balkans.
The Balkans has been always a vulnerable area and a source of potential conflict and instability in Europe. As you know, when it comes to Russia, it is not immediate neighborhood, but since the Balkans is not fully integrated into Euro-Atlantic structure or European Union, it still gives an opportunity to foreign actors, including Russia and other actors, to interfere into domestic affairs of Balkan states. So many see Russia as a spoiler, rather, when it comes to the Balkans. As you know, I'm now in Serbia, and Serbia is one of few countries in Europe that has not joined the European Union and imposed sanctions on Russia. Is considered one of the strongest Russia's allies in Europe. So it means that Russia has a really strong hold in this part of the world, and is popular, more popular than many in the Western Europe think. So definitely, I think that this region is to be kept in focus from the West, because months to come may cause some other disturbances in a wider European continent.
You have spent many years serving your country within several international organizations. NATO tops this list, as well as the OSCE. Do you feel that with so much attention that NATO, in particular, is putting on Ukraine in terms of stopping this Russian aggression, as they call it, it perhaps may be losing sight of the Balkans' future security?
I would describe the Western approach since the beginning of the invasion of Ukraine in February as something West has been caught in so-called escalation paradox, which means, including NATO definitely. Escalation paradox means that they cannot stand still waiting the invasion going on, and they have to provide as much as possible support, as much as possible to Ukraine. But that said, particularly European Union members of NATO are very much, afraid of or concerned about the further escalation of conflict. Therefore, it resembles like a walk a tightrope, where you would, including the last series of sanctions the EU introduced just yesterday, and support given to Ukraine a couple of days ago. But they always try to keep this going on, but at the same time not to escalate further the crisis, and to keep the door open for some future negotiation if possible. I think President Macron's statements in the recent part nicely encapsulates that approach. I don't know whether a negotiation at this moment is realistic. I would say it's off the table, but this also, offers a glimpse of hope and reflects opinion of some NATO members that at one point it is going to be possible, and that Western countries should be ready for that. I'm not sure that Ukraine itself is happy because of it, and I think personally that European Union members of NATO should stand behind Ukraine until Ukraine decides to negotiate, because what we have here at stake is invasion of our country, and that will set a precedent for some future events in Europe.
Okay, Ambassador Garcevic, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for joining us.